And so I think all these students are within their rights, and I think it's perfectly reasonable to be like, hey, this is our tuition that we go into debt for, that people spend their entire lives sometimes paying off, work their entire lives to make it in these schools. Hey, we don't want you to use our money to support this genocide.
Yeah.
And then for the schools to be like, nah. And I'm surprised. I don't even know if I'm surprised. I'm shocked that they'd go to this length to prevent their students from doing that.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to school. But don't worry, everything is cool. I'm your host, Jalissa, and of course, I am here with the boys, Steve and Brandon. Say what's up, you guys.
What's up?
And how y'all doing today?
I'm doing good, but Brandon just dropped a bomb on me.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, so off camera, like literally 5 minutes before we started, we were talking about, how did we get into that? Oh, okay, so for the fans watching, you might see me sniffling and sneezing the whole podcast.
Yeah.
I'm a little under the weather. And then Steve was like, why are you always sick, bro? And then I said, oh, I dumpster dive, and as a joke. And then he was like, I've always wanted to dumpster dive. And then I was like, you should dumpster dive behind Petco or PetSmart because you'll save a few animals in the process. And he was like, what? What are you talking about? And then apparently they didn't know. I thought it was, because I remember it being kind of big news, was that PetSmart and Petco, they regularly throw away like live animals. So like the fish you see in cups, or like they just throw them away.
And I was like, bullshit. And I looked it up and it's fucking true. Damn.
Yeah, they throw away that, like hamsters, shit like that, and they're alive. So people will dumpster dive behind those stores and they'll find them like alive.
Well, I was telling Brandon, I was like, well, obviously it's not the fucking CEOs like themselves coming out there. They probably tell the part-time workers to do it. And I was like, bro, how would you feel? Imagine working part-time at Petco. Like you're just trying to make some money to buy some weed or buy a fucking video game. And they're like, all right, bro, today your job is to throw away all the live animals.
They casually tell you to murder a bunch of animals.
Damn.
What do you do? Like, what do you do?
I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine that's a new thing. I can't imagine that was like a new CEO came in and was like, hey guys, to cut costs, we're going to start throwing away the animals. I think that's probably been happening. If anything, this is probably the better version of what they usually do. Because I can't imagine like
they like stomp on them or something.
Well, because I can't imagine. No, I'm not saying this is better, but like I'm being like I can't imagine in the 80s and 90s when there was no phones to have proof of what you were doing.
Damn.
They were doing shit better. And to me, if they're doing this so boldly with phones and nothing really happens to them, I can only imagine what they did back then.
Do you think phones gave people more ethics?
I don't know that it. I mean, maybe. I guess it depends on what you consider true ethics. I mean, like. They probably can't get away with shit because it's like, well, they're going to catch us on the phone. But did it, though? Because I feel like that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say is like, well, it's like paradoxical because some people say that you being exposed to so much bad shit makes you desensitized to
bad
it.
Shit,
yeah, but at the same time, being aware that at any point somebody can videotape you is something that like stop you from.
It's kind of like a nanny cam.
Yeah, it's funny because it reminds me of like a few months ago, do you remember we went to go get some food with Andrea, who was a guest on the time? Check out that episode. It was probably like episode like 40 or some shit. Bless you.
Thank you.
And we got Starbucks on the way back because at the time they were like giving away like free shit. And then somebody cut in front of us. And do you remember we like... I got out and confronted them because I was pretty fucked up because it was like a big ass line.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, and she started recording me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't going to do any crazy shit. But when she did record me, I had this feeling of like,
let me make sure I don't do any crazy shit.
Oh my God.
I do remember that. I do remember that.
Yeah, this is pre-protest Starbucks too.
This was a very long time ago. Very long time ago.
Yeah, but I remember she started recording me and I was still talking my shit. I was like, fuck you, you fat ass bitch. But this is just because I was angry and my judgment got the better of me. But you see, she recorded me and I didn't like attack her. So
yeah.
But it was cool because the girl in front of her
didn't
move.
Yeah, so she helped.
So she helped us like when Andrea went around her and we cut her back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that if she didn't have a phone, I would have gone crazy and like
I don't know, would you have? You tell me.
Well, I still like sat on her car even though she was recording me, and like I basically like was leaning on it. And then my sister joined me, and we were like both there.
Yeah.
If she had uploaded it, I wonder if anybody from TikTok would have been like, "Hey, those are the TODO CHIDO. That's the TODO CHIDO gang."
We had just recorded too.
Yeah, I
It's just
remember we
funny.
just recorded.
Oh,
But it's because that shit was like,
I mean, she did cut like a
Stupid.
fucking line around the block.
Yeah, so
it was the fucking drive-through line too. It wasn't like it was just like us like standing somewhere. She put her whole ass car right in front of us.
Yeah.
And it was just like, bro, off for what? Like the line wasn't even moving. It was just like, the fuck? So then that shit was like super angering. Because I was just like, bro, what was the
like,
point
I'm not
of
gonna
that?
let her get away with this.
And then when I was honking at her, because I was the one who was driving.
She's
So
like,
I started
"Ah."
she started laughing. And I was like, no fucking way. And then
Yeah.
that's when Stevie got out of the car. And then that's when like he confronted her.
I was like, because it reminded me of sometimes when I was a kid, someone would do something unjust, and I can't do anything because I'm a
'Cause you're
kid.
but now that you're a grown
grown-
man, you can.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm a grown ass man. I'm gonna fucking do something. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's always the right decision, because you never know. Maybe she's crazy too.
If
She
had
could
a
have shot
gun
me.
and she shot you.
Yeah.
Imagine. I'd have been like, whoa.
What would you have done? She
I
shot
would have hit her
me?
car. I
Yeah.
probably
That's-
would have hit her car.
Well, it's crazy because it's not like it's uncommon. Like in the neighborhood that I live, I feel like somebody gets shot all the time here. Literally, I bet you. I think I
If
just
you
got.
look on Citizen.
Yeah, I literally just got something on
I think
Citizen.
yesterday it was like somebody got stabbed or some shit. Or somebody was walking around with a
Yeah.
knife or something like that.
I think. Oh, you know what it was? Somebody got assaulted with a weapon yesterday when I was watching the Clipper game. Shout out
So-
Clippers in 7.
So then no, cameras don't do it. I
I just
genuinely
feel-
I feel like at first they might have done stuff, but I think after a while people see that I don't know, I don't think there's that many consequences other than like public humiliation.
Yeah.
But even
Well, I
then it's
mean-
kind of like do you,
But people lose their jobs
I mean,
getting
kind
doxxed
of,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah, because people are somewhat getting exposed. But I think that's all because of like TikTok, which
But,
makes things.
I think that part's good, but to me it's like have you guys seen that thing called survivorship bias? Where it's like back in the day, I think it was during World War I or World War II, the United States or one of the allied the good guys, they tried to like fix how planes. So what they did was they hired this statistics guy to take statistics on what part of the plane got hit the most. So basically all these planes would come back and they he's like, oh, 80% of all these planes that come back get hit around these areas. And so the United States or whoever it was like, okay, let's armor them there. But the statistics guy was like, no, you guys are missing the point. These are the planes that are coming back. So that means the plane is okay if you hit it there. So everywhere that the plane is not being hit, you should armor, because that's where the planes that don't come back are being hit. And so the way people apply that to other things is like, I guess the way I think about it is like, yeah, sometimes I think it works. Like you see it here and there. Like sometimes people get called out on their shit. But I think the amount of shit that goes uncalled far exceeds the stuff that does get called out. So you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's kind of hard. Do you get it? Do you get how it relates?
Kind of.
Because it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, because I was just gonna say, because it's like well, like in the plane, that's where it got hit. So I guess you could relate it to people. It's like, oh, that's what we need to fix.
Yeah.
But it's not. You're completely missing the point as to like what the actual problem is, right?
I guess the way I see it is just more like, maybe it's a bad example, but I guess I more see it as like, I think the stuff that gets called out is a fraction, like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of everything that goes on, you know? Because I just don't think everybody has time. Like, you know, all the shit that goes on in the world, all the problems that people face. I mean, there's 8 billion people on the planet. I just don't think that it's enough. I think at first, yeah, because it was slow. But I think now since everybody has it, it's like everybody's super now, you know? There's so much that you kind of get drowned out. You get what I mean?
The Incredibles line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I also feel like, especially with the whole thing with, what is it, PetSmart, I think for them, they don't care because it's like, they got a shit ton of money.
Well, like, go back to what
know?
you read. They got backlash. Like, they didn't go to, like, nothing happened to them.
I know, right?
Yeah.
They're still around.
Basically,
I didn't
nobody-
even hear about it.
Yeah, basically nobody gave a shit.
I could have
Like,
gone.
nobody
I
cares
could have
about
gone
it.
shopping at fucking PetSmart and not known about it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it relates to our first topic of the show, because I thought about how what can I spoil? What you're gonna talk about or not yet?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because we're gonna talk about obviously all the protests that are happening right now in schools that have to relate to Palestine, And I thought it was so interesting because I've seen the whole journey to when, obviously, as we spoke about in the podcast, Palestine started decades ago, like the whole conflict. But I mean, it recently, obviously, became like such a big issue, I guess, in the United States in recent memory.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting how it went from some people trying to kind of like ignore it, not see it. But now, because of all the protests that are happening even in school, it's impossible to not know about it.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of reminds me of that, like the PetSmart backlash. Like it's one of those cases where I could see somebody make the argument of, you see, like, what's the point of like, or like making controversy on the internet?
No,
Like, it doesn't
right,
do shit. But there's times where it does, and it explodes, and it does something impactful where even people in IRL do it. But fucking PetSmart, no,
you're
I
right.
didn't hear about
Well,
that shit.
I think with like the PetSmart shit, I think it goes back to like animal rights. I never really understood why people are so kind of, I don't know. This is I think everybody likes to believe they're super into animals or like they're pro animal just because they own a dog or they like dog or they're dog people. But I really feel that a lot of people are genuinely fucked up to animals. Like that's, I think, pretty barbaric. I talked about it on the show like probably like 9 months ago. With you know, all the stuff that goes on with the food that you eat. I think it's weird because sometimes you guys ever get cooking stuff on TikTok?
Yeah.
Like where it's like, oh, I make this recipe at night. One time there was like this vegan one where this guy was like, oh, I went to vegan for health reasons because I suffer from this thing, and then the doctor recommended a vegan diet because it less processed stuff, you know, or whatever it was. And all the comments were like, stop being a bitch. Like, the animal's still dead. And I'm like, Christ, bro. Like, it's just, damn.
I know. I'm not on me to laugh, but it's just crazy how people get called out.
Like, you know, and then all the fucking, the shit that goes down in those fucking production companies that package the meat where they fucking sexually assault animals.
Well, what was weird is I think that your ability to empathize with animals is completely related to
your ability to empathize with people.
Yes, and also I think you're like almost your level of intelligence. Because I was thinking about this. I saw a photo yesterday. This is crazy you're bringing this up. Yeah, sure. I saw a photo. It's this famous photo. Maybe you guys have seen it. It's the last photo of, I think, the Southern African rhino. Rhino, and it's this guy. He's with the rhino, and he's kind of like hugging. He's like leaning his body on him as the rhino's like dying. And I thought about how that experience would be if you took shrooms. Because I feel like, at least me visually, I feel like if I was hugging the rhino as it dies, I know I'd be tripping out bad, but I know I would feel like almost connected to him. And I thought about that greater idea of we are all connected because we all technically evolved from the same like cell organism. Yeah. Yes, I related to science because I'm a science nerd. And I thought about how I think that your ability to able to empathize and be good to animals is related to how intelligent you actually are, because you understand that they have one life like I have one life. Yeah. You know, they have the right to live here as much as I have the right to live here.
I think it's an emotional intelligence. I think you need to have an emotional intelligence to empathize with animals. Because I don't know. I think it's really interesting. I think it's fascinating. Like so the stuff some animals can do. Like even plants too. Like I think I sent you guys the clip where I know you think he's kind of a pessimist, but I think he sometimes I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that.
A bar or what? Who?
Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's doing, I think it's where they did the revival of Cosmos. He's talking about like forests and the ecosystems of forests. And he was talking about how when a tree falls or it gets cut down, it's a stump, but the trees surrounding it will sense that it got cut down, and they'll send it nutrients, minerals, water, everything. Even trees and plants that aren't of the same species or competing species. And he was like, that's pretty interesting because it's like, it's almost like the trees know, or they have an evolutionary awareness that despite that they compete, that everything plays a part in the ecosystem. So if that tree goes down, even if it's kind of competing, you need that tree for the forest to thrive.
Yeah, I always wonder how come humans lost that connection. Yeah. Like our ability to feel connected. I wonder if it's something about our species specifically, like primates. Like, I wonder if like we're quote unquote selfish in that way, but it's beneficial to us because that's why we were able to advance and like kill everything, because we're like, who gives a fuck about connection? It's all about dominance. I was gonna connect to something you said earlier, but I don't remember. What were you talking about right before You're talking about the rhinos, and then what did you just say?
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think it was right before Neil deGrasse Tyson. Julie, thoughts? While I collect my thoughts. What do you think?
I don't have any. I'm just listening.
Yeah.
Not really a science person, so
Oh,
I don't
that's
really like
empty.
know.
But you don't
know any
connect
of
to
those
animals
things.
or life or I remember now. I saw this take about how supposedly you should take people on their first dates to art museums, and then I saw one about zoos. About take them to zoos to see if they have emotional intelligence in the way that they treat animals.
Yeah.
And then museums, I'll explain that one because I'm acting as if you know. It's because I explained it to my sister yesterday.
Yeah.
I heard this super, super, super hot take, and I'm interested to see what you think.
Yeah.
It said that you should take first dates to art museums because you have to their ability to how they perceive art is closely tied to their ability to express emotions and communication on how they understand complex. Your face, complex situations.
Nah.
No, people were debating in the comments.
I think I just think when it comes to stuff like that, all these tests, I feel like maybe in some cases they work, but I think people are extremely complicated, and so I feel like to put somebody onto this one
category.
ultimate test is kind of like unfair. I think. Like, I don't know, maybe somebody's just never been interested in that kind of art. What if you took them to the wrong art museum and they're like, I've never really been that interested.
No, but
What if you took them to all the art museums and they got?
There's like, I don't get it. This is boring.
I don't know. Maybe they find other stuff interesting.
What
Maybe
if
they're
they're
into
like-
books. Maybe they're into this, that.
No, they're not.
Who are you talking about? Now you're talking about. You said they're not
It's
into
because
books.
she did the test.
Is that
No.
true?
No,
I do not.
I think it relates to, you know what I saw? I learned that science has proven or has heavily showed evidence that love languages are not real at all.
Oh, you sent me the video.
Yeah, you sent me
Did
the
you guys see
video.
that?
I tried watching it.
It was a little
You
boring.
tried watching
Yeah, it was.
it? It was a
boring.
little boring.
Yeah.
Y'all are fucked up.
I'm just kidding, bro.
Nah.
Send me videos, please. I want to learn.
He kept talking. All I remember
He
is
was
that he said
yapping.
something about like it's a white Christian man who made it, and I was like, all right, then that's all I need to know.
It was like a pastor who made it, and in one of the he's very
Really?
homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's very anti-gay in the book, and he has a chapter dedicated to, I think I might be remembering this incorrectly, but he's counseling this woman with an abusive husband, and he encourages to have more sex with him to stop him from being abusive.
That's crazy.
And the guy in the video that you guys thought was boring, he was saying that that it's fine, like that he's not, because people call into question like, oh, so what, because he doesn't have any credentials. The guy he presents himself like he does, but he was like, it's fine if people who don't have credentials present hypotheses and whatever, but
Like me?
But when science proves it wrong, like it's wrong, you know. And then people in the comments were like, yeah, I feel like that's true, because a lot of times people use love languages to like manipulate. And that's one of the reasons people brought up was like, oh, I'm physical touch, like, you know, and you're not touching me, like, you don't love me, you know? It's like shit like that. And so that's what I thought was interesting about love languages.
Damn, so the concept of love languages are used to manipulate?
I don't know about that, but it can be.
No, yeah, that's what I thought of. I was just like, I feel like every single thing is just can be manipulated. Or
Well,
some shit like
the
that.
guy was saying that
Used to manipulate.
the reason people resonate with it is that he feels that a lot of people were never taught how to communicate in a relationship. So that's that's a bare, like, because he was saying like, oh, like, I'm not saying that this is a starter for communication, but it's one of the only avenues that people have for communication. Because like people don't know how to tell their partner like, oh, I like to be treated like this, or I like to do this and that. So using love languages is like kind of like
a cheat code?
Yeah, but he's like, I feel like
Cheat
it's kind of bad. Like it's kind of a, I don't know, but I don't know.
Well,
I
because
thought
it's
it
like
was
what you were saying, right? Like it's the category. It's like not, people are complex. Like you can't
that's what you're saying.
equate somebody's needs to just those specific five
I think
things.
he also gave a like an example of acts of service where he was like, he's like, oh, I did the laundry for my wife, so that means I love her. And he's like, no, that doesn't mean like you love her. Like it means like you respect her and stuff like that. Like it's like a united thing. Like,
Yeah.
like love isn't like a checklist of like, well, I did all the things that you fucking said. Why don't you feel loved, you know? So I don't know.
That's pretty valid. I
Yeah,
think
a lot
that's
of
true.
people were saying it's kind of like like expectations. Like you have certain expectations for how your partner should treat you, and love languages were being, I guess, treated in that way. Where it's like how you said, like the laundry thing. It's kind of like that's cool, but it's kind of like I feel like you should be doing that for like your partner already. You know.
Mm-hmm. I get you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then he gave like an alternative. Like there's actually one that is backed up by science. It's called like the 7 principles of this and that. But he was like, nobody really likes that one because it's really complicated. And I don't mean like hard to understand, but it's like uncomfortable for a lot of people.
Oh, really?
So that they're like, nah. Because it talks about like how to have uncomfortable conversations, how to navigate conflicts, stuff like that. But he's like, a lot of people don't like that because, you know, they have a more, I guess because the
romanticization.
I guess because the love languages is a lot more palatable.
It's also a lot more fun.
Yeah.
It's almost like zodiac signs. Like, wow, look, I have these.
You don't believe in zodiac signs, bro?
I like the idea of them. I like the like little symbols. I think they're cute, and I think that when you are with somebody, like I think me and my girl are compatible. Like I think that's cute because it feels like it was written in the stars. But whether or not they're actually real, I don't know. It's because I back in the day I would say nah, but I feel like it's become almost like people's religion to where I feel bad for shitting on them so badly because back in the day I did shit on them really badly. So, but now people take it extremely serious. So, out of respect for those people, I'll keep it respectful and say like, I don't know.
I feel like I always wanted to get into it because it always sounded interesting, but when I tell people my sign and they're surprised about what I am, I'm like, so then it's wrong. So then the whole thing is wrong.
So it's not real.
So it's not real. Well, because for me, like, okay, if we want to talk about it, right? I'm a Sagittarius, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly Sagittarius are meant to be
never.
like adventurous and super outgoing and all these things. Like, that's not me.
And you're standing there like the emoji.
No. It's because it's your rising.
But they're all Sagittarius. All 3 of them. If somebody in the comments can tell me what that means, because like every single time I'm like, I'm a triple. Everybody says that it's your rising, it's your moon. I'm like, all 3 of them are Sagittarius. So why am I not the extreme version of that?
It's because you're probably like a cusp, and you were born in like the morning. So
no, that's me. I'm a cusp.
I know. I'm just making up.
Do you think I'm adventurous and outgoing? Do you think I love people and that I'm social?
No,
you're not out. I wouldn't say you're social, but I would say you're adventurous. I'd say
I like to spelunk.
Yeah, he's adventurous. He's just not like outgoing. Like
I don't like social stuff.
Yeah. Outgoing though. I feel like outgoing. There's like introverted ways of outgoing, in my opinion. Yeah. I think that introverts can be outgoing. It's just about like the social aspect. I think you have social anxiety and you just hate interacting with people.
It's like the closeness.
What do you think our kids are gonna think about? Because I think about this crap.
This crap.
Well, because
bullshit.
Well, because I feel like every generation has their own form of spirituality. Yeah. And we probably roll our eyes at our parents' spirituality, being like, all right.
Jesus. More like
that hippie.
More like, come on, give me one. Give me one, guys. Jesus, more like, who's this? Oh! Bar. Thank you.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10? All right, come on with a better one. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, cheese and rice.
Julie, your turn. Jesus Christ.
Well, what if lightning strikes us?
Right now, it's about to get a power outage. But you just said you didn't respect that.
No, I didn't say I didn't respect it. I said the generation generally rolls its eyes at that. What do you think? Do you think that all this stuff, because this is the common stuff that I see, which is zodiac signs, tarot, and manifesting. I feel like those all come from different
things.
Yeah, that like zodiac is like a Greek thing, right?
Well, what's weird is I feel like they're all tied to almost a science reality based.
But I agree. But do you think that does that have a name? Because I feel like at this point the
spirituality.
No, because I feel like spirituality is too broad. Because you could apply a lot of things to spirituality. I feel like this has to have a name.
You're just an astrologist, bro.
Gen Z.
Gen Z. Because I feel like this is the modern day religion. I feel like generally speaking, most people believe in this.
Yeah.
tarot, manifesting, zodiac. If you're in this, you know what? You know what bothers me about zodiac is I feel like I've never not seen them say anything positive when it comes to like.
What do you mean?
There's this one. I have no beef against her like at all. I think it's cool. But every time she comes on my For You page, she's like, if we're now entering Mercury, this, that, this is a horrible time for, doing
for
this.
living.
Yeah. And I feel like every fucking week is something like it's horrible or like, or it's like, don't do this, don't get a new job, don't do that. And I'm like,
don't go outside, don't talk, don't eat.
Or like, your ex is coming back and they're going to kill you. I don't know.
But I guess
but hasn't the world been bad though?
I feel like you could.
She kind of spinning.
It's always been bad though. So I feel like.
Well, that's why
There's
just two sides of that. It's like, well, it's because life is always bad, or is it easier to say things will be bad, so that way, like when something bad happens, it's like, oh,
I don't know.
It's because my Gatorade is in Mercury.
I feel like I find it interesting. I want to believe it, but I feel like some of the stuff I'm like, I feel like that's pretty broad. I don't know. Like, Steve, don't start a fight today. That could be bad for your health.
Well, it's interesting because Gen Z isn't religious, but they're spiritual, and if you think about it, the things that we believe in are tied to science. Zodiacs is technically astronomy, and then what's the other one? What did you write? Tarot and
manifesting.
Manifesting is technically, people say that all life is perception. So if you perceive your life to be a certain way, you're only pushing yourself to achieve those goals.
I guess the way I see it is I feel like at this point, spirituality is kind of like a slippery slope of it's religion with extra steps, in my opinion.
Damn. Say it with your chest, bro.
It's religion with extra steps, in my opinion.
What that mean?
Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like at first, maybe it was kind of like, oh, like I'm not quite into organized religion, man. And I get there's a huge difference. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's completely the same. Mm-hmm. I know religion is very problematic. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like people act like it's this giant juxtaposition in terms of belief. Like, it's far more, believable. Like with the whole science thing, right? Like astrology. I see astronomers all the time say that they hate it because the whole star thing. I think Neil deGrasse Tyson also explained it. When Mercury's in retrograde, he's like, what does that mean? He's like, that just means that it's just spinning. Like, he's like, it's always in retrograde. Like, that doesn't, and even like the astrology that you're looking for, this was made like 2,000 years ago. So they're not even in the same position that you're saying that they're in. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm like, I don't know that it's science.
No wonder I could never find them.
Well, it's interesting because manifesting is like praying. Zodiacs are like the saints. Mm-hmm. So there is a lot of similarities.
I don't know. Am I on the wrong side of history?
I guess like only time will tell.
No,
is that wrong? Saints. Is that a bad one?
I mean, I guess.
The Zodiacs are like the saints? No?
I just feel like it is pretty crazy, though, that, like, the Zodiac signs are huge. Like,
yeah, well, they're huge now.
I mean, I have a Zodiac sign tattooed on me.
No, yeah. Like, I just think that's really crazy to think about.
I don't know. Am I on the wrong side of history? Am I problematic?
But
like you have issues with it?
I more have, I don't know, kinda. I have more.
Come out, be honest.
Not Zodiac or tarot. I feel like those are fine. I just more think it's like it's just not for me. I feel like manifesting, I have more of an issue with.
Why?
Because not everybody, but some of the way that people present it, I feel like some people, not influencers, but I've seen people who are big who will present it as like, you can have everything you want, and the reason you don't have it is because you're not manifesting right. Or like this, it feels like you're kind of...
It's very misleading.
It feels like the same as those preachers who are like... oh, God will deliver all this to you. And I feel like, I don't know, it seems misleading.
If you just believe in him. And I get what you mean, because specifically the examples that you've talked to me about is like the same way in religion when they're like, you're poor and your children are sick because you don't believe in God and it's basically your fault. It's kind of the same way of how like you don't have what you want in your life because you're not manifesting it. Yeah. It's like, then why are people who are in poverty?
It's not everybody. Let me get that straight. I feel like generally speaking, most people are cool about it. You know, like I'd say like 80% of people are cool about it. They're not saying that.
87 is such a specific number.
I said 80%, not 87.
Oh, I thought you said 87. My bad.
No, you're cool.
Go ahead.
But there's some like... It's the big people, like the big ones who like have seminars and shit like that.
Yeah.
Where they're like, or people when they'll say shit like, oh, it's because, I knew this one guy who passed away from cancer, and it's because they attracted it because all they thought of was negativity. I feel like that's really fucked up to say.
Yeah.
I feel like don't say that. That's so tone deaf and mean. Like, because I'm like, by that logic, you're saying like little kids who get cancer, they've manifested that into their lives. They don't even know what the fuck negativity is. They're little kids. They don't know. It's I don't know. It's very fucked up. Or like when those big like, basically like wealth preacher types are like, oh, you're poor because you don't manifest. You have the power to change your life just by thinking. It's like, maybe, I don't know, like maybe if you have the right frame of mind, you could take the steps.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, what about the people in the world who genuinely don't have any opportunity? Oh, it's because they didn't manifest right, man. I don't know. So I'm like, man,
you're sounding like an atheist. They would make those memes
I
about
just-
you where
I-
it's the glasses and then
I just think, yeah, I just think generally speaking, if you're in a position of privilege, you're gonna have opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, manifesting probably works for you. I don't know. Am I a hater? Am I an asshole?
I think you are, but it's okay to be a hater. I think it's perfectly fine to be a hater. I think that haters get a bad rap, or even then, even if you're not a full time hater, like you're not.
Oh, yeah. And to once again make it clear, I don't have a problem with that. The people who do it, cool. I have a problem with those big preacher types who are like, stop manifesting sickness into your life and like disease. It's like, man, nobody's doing that to themselves. Shut the fuck up. I don't know.
You're spitting.
I feel that.
But
Yeah.
I guess finally moving into the portion of our podcast, guys. This time we open it up really quick before we open it up. Guys, we finally fixed our audio. I'm sure some of you guys have noticed that there was like buzzing and like
Yeah, we
weird
figured it
static.
out.
We
Yeah.
finally figured it out. It took a long time, but we finally did it. Because I think some people listen to us in their cars, and since they have the fucking 4K, like
The
4D.
the Bose speakers.
yeah, they could probably hear it too. So we fixed it. At least we hope we did. It sounds good on our end. I literally worked tirelessly. I had to take my shirt off. Like I was really busting
His
down.
blood, sweat, and tears.
Did you
Yeah.
explain what happened to the audio? Are you gonna explain what happened? Or are you gonna keep that a secret?
All I'm gonna say is we lost a few good men.
Yeah, we did.
But moving on.
But to kick things off, I
Yeah.
wanted to, on a more serious note, I wanted to talk about the pro-Palestine encampments that have been going on across. I think it's over 20 schools now.
It's like 30.
Oh, it's 30 now. The last time I checked, it was 20. But I'm glad to see that it's spread to more schools. Where basically a bunch of students are protesting by camping out on campus for their schools to divest in Israel. But recently what's been happening is a lot of police have been, I think specifically riot squads, have been going in there and breaking it up really violently.
Yeah.
And then there's also been anti-protest rallies who are pro-Israel who have been attacking. I think it just happened to UCLA last night. An anti, I guess, a pro-Israel
yeah.
went and attacked the protesters. They shot like a firework in there.
That shit was
yeah, I
crazy.
saw.
You can see the videos. Yeah,
yeah.
they shot like a firework in there. They were shouting a lot of racial slurs. There's a video going around about them shouting racial slurs, being like towards black people,
Yeah.
and then also telling the women who are protesting that they hope they get assaulted sexually, shit like that. So it's pretty disgusting and nasty what's been going on. But I don't know. I wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on that.
I just think that's crazy because at least when I saw the UCLA stuff and the fact that they had a firework there, I was kind of like, why isn't there more like involvement or like that they're like attacking each other of like even because it's on campus, you know, and it's like they're bringing kind of like those types of like weapons on there.
Yeah.
Because it's like I think most of the encampments don't really have like any other thing than like their supplies and like their tents and stuff, and like these people were legit attacking them. I think there's a guy who got hit in the head. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he was like bleeding.
He's bleeding. Yeah.
And then he did like a speech, I think the next day about it.
I saw the UCLA one. I think it was last night, right? Or
It was
maybe
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago.
Yeah.
I saw it last night.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, makes sense. That they also came in with like bear spray. And so they were bear spraying the protesters. I guess for me the thing that stands out is that with all the police in riot gear, zip tying people and pulling them out of tents, and you've seen the videos.
Yeah.
It's going crazy over there. That they're going after them and not the people regularly attacking them.
Yeah.
Which I think is insane and making it seem like they're violent. Because I think the reason that they got called, the police were, I guess, able to go and arrest the protesters is a lot of the campuses were declaring it unsafe and unlawful. So immediately all the riot squads came in and protested. And broke up the protest. It started at Columbia, right? I think that's the main one that
It
started.
started, I think, the schools on the East Coast.
Yeah.
It started in Columbia because I think they were occupying, or they were protesting in one of the halls, and that's where it kind of started. But then I think a bunch of other schools in solidarity with that came out and started protesting. But I think it's insane because there's a lot. I just think it's insane how the schools would turn their back on their students like that and call the police to really hurt them and attack them.
Yeah.
Especially when universities and schools, and I have always kind of presented themselves and prided themselves on being like safe spaces for the youth to voice their protest. I mean, everywhere, like every movement, there's always you hear there's big protests at either Berkeley or UCLA or wherever. It's a big protest, and to see the universities turn their back on these students like that, and it's not even just turning their back; it's like inciting violence against them and supporting violence against them. That's wild to me. Like I saw, I don't know if you guys have heard about this, was what happened with USC, where the valedictorian there, she's very pro Palestine, and because of that, they canceled the entire commencement for that graduating class over security concerns. I think that's insane. You know, these kids who work their entire lives to graduate at this school, have their right to protest at these schools, learn about what they want to learn about these schools, fucking go into debt for these fucking schools. And
for sure,
the schools do that to them. That's, I don't know. I think it's insane.
There was another school. I don't know which one it was. I wouldn't say it was Yale or something, but because they were doing like the encampments and the protests, I don't know exactly if it was at school, but because they were doing that, that's when they declared that it's unsafe to be on campus. So they made everything online. So they're saying that everything's now, the rest of the semester is going to be online or some shit like that.
Which school is it?
I don't remember what school. I want to say it was Yale. I remember I told you about it, but I can't remember what school it was exactly. And then people even more were like writing and like writing to their board because it was like, then we want our money back, because if you guys are going to make us do everything online, then there's no point for us to be paying so much tuition.
And I just think it's insane. Like I think the students who pay, I mean, we all went to college, we all graduated college, and we went to Cal States, you know, CSUs, and those are considered the lesser expensive of the universities in California. UCs, I mean, Jesus Christ, and even then, the lesser expensive is fucking expensive to go there, man. And so I think all these students are within their rights, and I think it's perfectly reasonable to be like, hey, this is our tuition that we go into debt for. That people spend their entire lives sometimes paying off, work their entire lives to make it in these schools. Hey, we don't want you to use our money to support this genocide. Yeah. And then for the schools to be like, nah. And I'm surprised. I don't even know if I'm surprised. I'm shocked that they'd go to this length to prevent their students from doing that.
Yeah. Well, because it's crazy, because a lot of the classes too, because I'm only speaking more of like if I want to represent my school. At San Francisco State, they have been doing the encampments and stuff. And for me, I'm just kind of like, for example, for that, right? San Francisco State is known because they protested to have their college like ethnic studies, right? Yeah. And a lot of their classes are based on history of like a lot of, you know, minority groups protesting, doing all these things. And one is specifically happened in that campus too. So it's crazy to know that like there is possibly other schools that teach that, and then you're being taught that, and then when you finally are doing it, your own school is the one who's like going against you. Yeah. I think that is the craziest thing, because it's like they teach you about all these things, right? They teach you about like these times that people were protesting, like history, all these things. But then now that you're doing it, it's kind of like, it's so like weird, because it's like you taught it, like you guys taught about it, like, and how is it that like you guys don't want students to do that, you know? That's
a really good point, because we learned about that in school, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a big movement during the Vietnam War at schools, right? Yeah, where they would protest and I
think it was in Columbia.
Yeah. So I think that's why I'm like, there's a long history of colleges and universities being the hubs of protest, you know, during times of crisis or during huge movements. Yeah. So
you think they would learn their lesson, be on the right side of history?
But I guess this time it's because they are going against their own school system. Because I think for Columbia, I think it's because like the actual university invests in a lot of things.
Yeah,
for, like,
yeah.
Israel or something
but a
like that.
lot of these schools do.
But a lot of the schools do,
Yeah.
because even the UCs, which is why like the UCs happened because of the fact that like they also invest a lot of money into whatever's going on now. And like for USC, it started because of the valedictorian. Like that's where it started from there.
Yeah.
And especially with just everything going on, it just started happening like that. So then that's why all the schools are basically like showing solidarity for each other, because it's like, I mean, they're all pretty much going through the same thing, where it's like all their money is going into something that they feel is not right.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're very brave in doing that, for sure.
No, for sure.
And like I've been seeing videos too where like this is also during finals. Like it's May. Like
It's graduation season,
it's
bro.
graduation season.
Yeah,
like
people, they lost their schools lost their graduation.
Yeah,
USC right
bro.
here lost their graduation.
That was the one that was the most heartbreaking for me, because I saw a TikTok of this girl saying, as a first generation student, you have no idea how painful it is to know that you're not going to get a graduation. And obviously the issue at hand is more important, but I think that this is also extremely important, because that doesn't mean that they're against the movement, but it's so sad that the university chooses to punish all students for the protest, because even that in itself, even the cancellation of the commencement is such a cowardice move, because like they're just afraid, I guess, of the uproar or even the bad publicity that could happen from there. I'm sure there's a matter of danger too, like they're scared of, I guess, students fighting or whatever it is. But I think that's so heartbreaking, because if you live in LA and you are around USC, you know that USC is close to South Central. And you know that a lot of brown and black kids grow up seeing USC and dream of attending that prestigious school. So especially because that school has such a reputation and has money that they're able to just influence the surrounding area so much that they're some of the people who have gentrified that area. And so a lot of black and brown kids dream of one day going to that school. They put, like you said, they put their blood, sweat, and tears. They put their families in debt to go to that school, hoping that they can get a better life. And and yes, like a graduation, whatever, you can be like, it's shallow, it's fucking superficial. Like, why do you need that? But because you work so hard for it, because it's a celebration of you and all the hard work that you've done, I feel like you can't take that away. You can't belittle how much that meant to first generation kids whose families fled from some other place, whose literally decades have led up to this ceremony. I think that's heartbreaking to me, because I graduated from college in 2021. I got a little bit of the graduation. It was a very limited graduation. The class before me didn't get anything. And even with the limited graduation that I got, I felt robbed and I felt sad, because I felt like my family had struggled so much. I was the youngest of their kid. I was the last one to do it, and I wanted my moment, and that's fine. Like, I don't think there's anything bad with those kids wanting their moment. And it's so I empathize so much with the first gen kids who feel like they're being stolen that opportunity, especially because it's year 2024. 4 years ago was the pandemic 2020. When those same kids graduate from high school, they didn't have a high school graduation, and now they're not getting a senior college graduation. That's so fucking heartbreaking, bro. Like the fact that USC almost themselves belittled their students and didn't even give a fuck about how that would affect their families. I feel like that's so tone deaf of them.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just hate that they're punishing them, period. I don't get it. I feel like I just don't get it. These people are protesting and they're within their rights to protest. It's just an encampment, you know? And they're the ones making it violent. They're calling these police in riot gear to fire tear gas, to rip people out of their tents. They're if anything, to me, it shows that they're having more solidarity with the people who come in and attack these protesters, who shoot fireworks in there, who hospitalize people, who yell slurs and degrade women and do all these things. It's like you're showing more solidarity with them than your own students, who, you know, their existence is what pays for you guys to even exist.
Because a lot of the anti, like, Palestine or whatever, pro-Israel or whatever, a lot of them aren't even students.
They're not.
They're not. They're just people who are just mad about what's going on. So they all kind of just get together and they go attack the group. And it's kind of like, it generally is just like crazy, because it's like how you said, like, they're practicing their right, and this is their campus that they're paying to be on. And it's like they're not doing anything dangerous. Like, they're not doing anything violent. They're just legit just there.
Yeah.
And like I for sure feel like this is something that's really affecting every single person.
Yeah.
Like every single student. And I think especially for the generation, like the generation has gone through COVID. Like, and for sure I think this is even more frustrating for them of like what's going on, especially now for those who are very much affected with like the cancellation of graduation and stuff. And I feel like even more that's like a reason of like I don't know,
Frustration.
to like be frustrated and
Yeah.
get angry and kind of just like I feel like this shit wouldn't happen if it if the whole shit like with Palestine wasn't happening. But it's
Yeah.
like there's no end to it. And now it legit is starting to affect a lot more people outside of that, which is like the students who aren't going to get like their
Yeah.
commencement or like aren't getting the fair like I guess school experience anymore,
Yeah.
right?
And then I think it speaks on a lot of things. It speaks on policing. It speaks on the
Mhm.
school systems. I don't know if you guys
It speaks on the government, bro.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get to that too. And but first, the police, right? I don't know if you guys have ever seen this guy. I've very much disagree with 99.9% of his takes. I think he's harmful and I think he's an asshole. The guy who eats ice cream and he's always giving these fucking red pill takes about the government.
No, I have no
You
idea
never
what
seen
you're
it?
talking
I don't
about.
think I've seen
It's
it
in your
either.
corner of the internet.
You've seen him. I know for a fact you've seen him. he eats ice cream. He was fired from the Trump administration
Mm.
because he was gambling. But he's
maybe.
but
I don't
basically
know.
he said if I showed him, you'd be like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, sneak this.
Well, because you guys probably scroll past him, but he's very problematic. But
Okay.
he actually gave this one take where I was like, all right, that one kind of ate.
Mhm.
Where he brought up like the police didn't do shit at Uvalde. They were too coward to go in there and do their fucking job. But these students criticize Israel, and all of a sudden they have the balls to go in there and fucking harass children. You know,
Mhm.
I think that's insane.
I would really wanted to dissect and dive deep into that juxtaposition because that's the biggest takeaway that I've been seeing from people who are very much shitting on the cops is that they don't understand why during like shootings or some greater threat like a bombing or something, police are so afraid, but once it's peaceful protest, now it's time to bring out the riot gear and beat up these kids.
Yeah.
Now it's time to
Yeah.
But
to think I'm Captain America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was saying something about that too, where it's just like cops, no matter what, are always on the wrong side of history. Like throughout time, it's always just been like that, where it's just like they're always against the people who, like right now, like the protesters, right? Like
Yeah.
those kinds of things.
Well, I think of the Stanford experiment. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the Stanford experiment was that famous experiment where they put in, I think they were all inmates or they were just random
Yeah.
regular people.
Yeah. They were all regular people.
They were all regular people where they put them, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's this famous experiment called the Stanford experiment where they put in two groups of people. One of them would be the cops and one of them would be the prisoners. And they wanted to see how they would react to that power dynamic. Like, would they be nice to each other? Would they not? The experiment was supposed to go for, I think, a week, but they stopped it after a few days, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And basically, the reason they stopped it after a few days was because the amount of inhumanity and cruelty that the cops had shown to the fake prisoners was insane, and they felt like it became an ethical concern to leave those people in there because they had basically grown power hungry. And I think about how if you're a cop who is gonna see this possible threat, right, this enemy of like a shooter or a bomber, there's this idea of they can fight back, or they're a greater threat, or they're a greater danger to you.
Yeah.
So you're a lot more cautious. While I think that if you're a protester and a cop, you have this leeway of power where you feel like you aren't in danger because these are just students. And in a fucked up way, I think it affects cops because they feel like since they have so much power, they should use it and they should hurt these students and they should use all their aggression and they should use all their equipment. And it's so saddening because I think it goes back to the experiment, the Stanford experiment, because I think that's the whole reason why they're extra aggressive against something that is less of a threat than a shooter or a bomber.
I think to me it just more speaks to the fact that they're never been about protecting and serving the people. It's
Mhm.
never been about that. It's always been about protecting and serving the elite,
Yeah.
making them feel safe, doing what they tell them to do, you know? 'Cause I think that's bullshit. What are you fucking sending in a riot squad to break up a bunch of kids camping? But all these cops are too pussy to go in and stop school shooters and do their actual job.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's
It's
insane.
saddening, bro.
Yeah.
Like when you need them, because the concept of cops, I think could be. I understand the propaganda when I was a kid, right? Like you would
Yeah.
see cop movies or you would see cops in fiction, and like the propaganda of it, right? Like Mr. Incredible works with the cops, you know, they're out here to protect insert.
Good guys versus bad guys.
Yeah,
you know?
the concept of cops, it seems like it's a good idea, but so many social experiments have shown that it's almost impossible for humans to not take advantage of the power they have. And those are just cops. Imagine what the fucking government. Imagine Joe Biden. Well, Joe Biden's like senile, so I'm like,
He is, you know. But I also wanted to touch on this. I saw this morning, which was the House passes bill to expand definition of anti-Semitism.
oh yeah,
Amid growing campus protests over Gaza war. So I'm just reading this straight off of the news. The House passed legislation Wednesday that would establish a broader definition of anti-Semitism for the Department of Education to enforce anti-discrimination laws. The latest response from lawmakers to a nationwide student protest movement over the Israel-Hamas war. So essentially, if the reason all these schools or anything, right, is because they're saying it's anti-Semitic, it's extremist, it's dangerous, you know. But we've covered it on this show. Being anti-Israel has nothing to do with being anti-Jewish or being anti-Semitism. You know, it's a problem with the state. It has nothing. It has no problem with people of that religion, people of that, you know, ethnicity or background, whatever people think it might be a problem with. It has nothing to do with that. It's people criticizing the state in the same way people criticize this state, the United States of America. But that the government is expanding the definition to make it easier for like, oh, well, this is the definition that this fits that bill. So now we can go in and do that. You know, I think that's fucking insane. How quickly too,
agree.
right?
Mm-hmm. I agree too. You know what I think is insane is that both recent elections, the ones coming this year and last year, featured riots, which I think is really insane because I think it shows the political state of the United States. Because I mean, I don't know, you could call this a coincidence, but I just find it interesting that both election years in 2020 we had fucking huge riots, and in 2024 this seems like the bottling point of where there's only the beginning of riots that are happening here.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it seems to happen in election years. It just seems like
I think it's just civil unrest, you know, and I think maybe it's during election years when people feel that they can apply action to their civil unrest, so they show it the most to be like, no, this is what we believe in, and make sure you keep that in mind when you're at the voting polls.
Bro, Joe Biden's not gonna win, bro. That's crazy. That's scary. Probably Donald Trump is gonna win.
It seems like he's not gonna win anymore.
I just think,
especially with like
you said that video,
students.
Right? Yeah.
What?
You said who sent the video of
Julie?
Is it the video?
Oh yeah,
right?
of like, so it. I don't know where it is, but it's basically like the pro-Palestine versus, I think, like, I want to say like the pro-Israel, which is like interesting too.
The pro-Israel.
If you guys have seen that, a lot of the pro-Israel also has like the flags, right? Their Israel flags or whatever. But they also have the U.S. flags, like they have the American flags.
Well, because
and then but this specific video, I don't remember if they had like the Israeli flags there, but there was a Trump flag there, and they were both saying, the Trump side was saying like, oh, fuck Joe Biden, and then the pro-Palestine side was also saying like, fuck Joe Biden, and then like the comment was like, look at Joe Biden, like uniting people or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But it was just like basically none of them are gonna vote.
Yeah, both
for him.
the left
That's
and
like
the right side.
Yeah.
Because like one's like the pro-Palestine, which is like they don't like Joe Biden because Joe Biden hasn't done shit.
Yeah, and then the other side doesn't like him because he hasn't done shit.
Yeah, because he hasn't done shit, and they love Trump. They love Trump.
I can't believe fucking Trump is gonna win again, bro. I can't believe it. I mean, at least he said that he would pull away from Israel.
Yeah,
there's that. But fuck, man, fucking Trump.
Yeah,
oh, I'm scared, bro.
Yeah,
I'm low-key scared.
I'm scared for myself.
I think it's fair. I think that's totally fair. I think it's just, I don't know what the word is. It's like, it sucks that I feel, at least, this is the most I've ever seen two candidates not represent what people want. Period.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really horrible.
Or maybe vote for a third party.
fucking Robert
Fucking
F. Kennedy.
Robert F. Kennedy.
No, isn't there those girls?
But for me,
The girls. I don't know if you guys have seen the girls all over TikTok. There's like these 2 girls that I think are running for president, and I don't even know exactly, but they've been on my TikTok.
I don't know. I think there's a breaking point, and I think people are reaching it. I think
For sure, I feel that.
because I saw this thing about inflation, right? Specifically towards fast food. I'm probably gonna misquote it and butcher it, but they were saying that fast food is inflated, but it isn't even it isn't even match up with inflation. They're just let's say I don't know the specific math, but let's say just for example, the Big Mac was $1 like a year ago, and adjusted for inflation, it'd be $2. Yeah, it's not $2. It's like $5. Like the fast food chains are taking advantage of inflation, being like, oh man, like, inflation, like that's why it's so expensive. Man, it's because of all these wages you're making us pay all these workers, like, oh man, So I think that's wild. I think all these things combined, I don't know.
99-cent stores are going out of business.
Yeah.
But that's why a lot of people are boycotting, bro.
I keep hearing they're saying the U.S. is about to fall. Imagine.
We're the last empire, supposedly.
Yeah, imagine.
I saw some spooky statistic that apparently
We're overdue for...
No. That if you look at the math or like the statistics about what happens during these times, that the United States has about like 6 years best left before it collapses or something happens.
Damn.
I don't know. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. At least for them, the politicians. I think we as people will be fine. As long as Joe Biden isn't fuck y'all, nuke.
Yeah.
I
just feel like
for
sure a lot of it's like I generally just feel like there's just no good politician at all. Like no matter who you think right now so far.
Yeah.
I don't think there is any.
I just think that the Israel-Hamas war pulled the veil back a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always felt all politicians were fucking crooks, right? Crooked is a politician, as they say. But the fact that a lot of these politicians who prided themselves on we're the few good ones that are left that will speak up against, this and that. Like AOC, how forever she would not say that what was going on was a genocide.
Yeah.
And people would be like, why don't you say it's a genocide? And she'd be like, you guys are harassing me. And now all of a sudden she's like, oh no, actually what's going on is wrong. And same thing with Bernie Sanders. The fucking, what is it? I think what a disappointment. I liked him. Same thing, would not say, he's like, I don't know.
Like he wouldn't shit on Joe Biden.
He wouldn't shit on Joe Biden. But all of a sudden it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I had seen the AOC clip when people, and it was quoted like, oh, it was AOC having a tantrum or some shit.
Well, because remember, she was the one who talked about protests originally, and she was like, protests are supposed to make people uncomfortable. And then when they were doing that to her, she was like, you guys are making me uncomfortable.
Yeah. I saw it too.
Yeah.
Word for word, bar for bar.
I was like, that's very disappointing. I don't know. Yeah,
which is why I say, I feel like there's right now, everybody in office, I don't think there's anyone.
Yeah. Well, my hot take
that gives me hope.
There's never been?
No. My hot take is that I just think that the initial structure of the Constitution and the way the government was made was that they assumed at most there'd be 3 million people living here when there's almost now 1 billion. And they never assumed that you would have a smart computer on your pocket, or that there was warning. Some of the founding fathers warned of factions. That's exactly what happened. That was their one rule. Don't do that. They did that. So my hot take has always been for years that I think that the government and our foundation isn't built on something sustainable. Yeah. I don't think that we live in such an evolved world since the birth of our nation that I feel like we'd have to rewrite everything. But now the factions have become so influential to life to where it's almost religion for these politicians, to where they can't really see things objectively. And I'd argue even maybe some Americans and some people in our country can't see things objectively. They see it as me versus them. Yeah. Which I think is was meant to happen, which is they planned that and they shot themselves in the foot. So my hot take is to make things better, you kind of have to start from scratch. And
Yeah.
I don't
Well, isn't the thing about the Constitution that it's supposed to evolve, but they don't fucking let it evolve.
They
unless it's about TikTok and banning TikTok.
Yeah.
And then
they don't like upgrade. They're like, no, we want to stick to the traditional stuff.
But I think it's horrible because I just hate that so much that they pretend that they give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
I just hate that. I feel like I would much rather you would just say that you don't give a shit and you're just representing rich people.
Yeah.
You know,
to lie to my
stop lying
face.
to my face and lying to people who support you, who are uneducated about certain subjects. That, oh, we're for you, man. We're for the working class.
Yeah.
We're all for you, dude. And you're fucking not. Just fucking say what you are, which is fucking scam artists and people who just support fucking the rich and powerful. That's what I think. I think something's gonna happen. I think people are reaching their breaking point.
I do think so. I do agree. And it's funny enough, I think it's tied to TikTok being banned. I generally do think, because I think the government is starting to really overstep and contradict itself when it comes to freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Because I know, whatever, the other generation, TikTok brain, TikTok humor sucks, fuck TikTok. I get that. But I think TikTok is an avenue of freedom of speech, whether it's someplace you can make your income or it's someplace you get your news. It's a place where you can just freely get information out there and people can receive it.
Yeah.
And I think that them wanting to completely ban that, it's a precedent that's gonna continue on, and it's gonna only make waves in other forms. Like, I don't know, they'll start banning books again. They'll start banning fucking movies again.
Well, it's because I think right now specifically there's just multiple things going on where it's like one part of it is the whole like Palestine stuff, right? Which is affecting a good amount of population, right? And, you know, if you sympathize with it, then you for sure are getting, like, affected by it, you know? Because for sure it's crazy and it's, like, super horrible what's going on. And then the other side is that TikTok is being banned. And if you have a small business on TikTok and, like, that's where you got your revenue, and you've seen, I forgot what the commercial, like, was that I saw on TikTok, that it's, like, millions of people have, like, gotten their income from TikTok.
Yeah.
And like that's affecting them now that it's going to be banned.
Yeah.
So there's another side that the government is like messing with at the same time as this is all happening. So it's like even plus millions that are just getting affected, which is why now people are getting to their breaking point, which I don't know what else is going on, which is like, you know, taxes, all that shit.
I think for me, it's more like the amount of stuff that, or the amount of things that the rich and powerful are getting away with, and doing to me at the expense of, you know, regular people, the fucking 99%, you know, I think is getting insane. You know, cost of living, cost of gas, cost of food, fighting a war that the public is against. Everything under the sun, I think, is insane. Because I go back to the TikTok. I don't buy for a second that it's, well, it's a threat to national security. This and that. I don't. It's not. It's because the fucking the rich and powerful CEOs here don't like that there's a rich and powerful CEO from another country or whatever, or that there's just somebody
stealing their money.
That's stealing their money.
Yeah.
And so they're like, I don't know, fucking just tell them it's because of the fucking Constitution. What, I don't know, fucking do that.
Constant whatever.
You know? And it's like, yeah, exactly. Constant whatever. Or the same thing with food, right? Or how these people are taking advantage of shit. Like what we talked about with Wendy's, where they were gonna they were gonna experiment with, what's it called again?
The AI?
No. Well, that too, but when they were thinking of changing the price of the fucking Wendy one.
Oh, like I don't know what it's called, but it's basically like hourly inflation.
Yeah, when they're gonna do that,
if it's more in demand, like stocks,
or like I guess maybe the AI is a better example, right? It's they're saying like, oh my gosh, man, we just can't afford to fucking pay our workers livable wage, man. So we gotta fucking charge you $35 for a burger made of fucking horse meat. You know, it's. Whoa, what happened there?
It's okay, I got it. Don't worry. Just keep going.
The CIA.
It's the CIA. You guys all saw that?
I don't
Yeah, so
know.
is it?
I don't know, man. I really, I guess going because we trailed off a little bit. Going back to the Palestine encampments, I'm very. I I think it's good how much solidarity the youth is showing.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody was saying like, oh, this will blow over in like 2 weeks. Like people are pretending like they care, and that nobody actually cares. But I'm really glad people are using their voice.
Yeah.
You know, it's horrible what's happening to them, and you know, my heart goes out to them. But I'm glad that everybody's making their voices heard and telling
Yeah.
everybody, you know, standing up for what they believe in.
For sure.
You know?
And then I know that there's even starting to be even some teachers who
Who are
like are
doing that
standing with
too?
like the students. And
Did
stuff.
you see? I saw it briefly that there was this teacher who went and confronted the police about what they were doing to the students,
Mhm.
and they body slammed her.
Really?
Yeah, they like or they hit her over the head or something. Like she came up and was like, "What you're doing is wrong," and then the cop like threw her to the ground.
Damn, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, but insane. What's going on there?
Nothing, just fixing this.
Do you need help?
No, I'm chilling.
Is it working though?
I don't know, it's not working, which is weird.
What's going on?
I'll just hold it. It just got unstuck. It's all good. I'll hold it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
But yeah, I don't know. Any other takes other than, I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it because I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, our audience is kind of young. I mean, or they're
Mhm.
either in or out of, or just out of college.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think.
I mean, there's no way you can avoid talking about it. I mean, I'd be more surprised to not talk about it because I know that was originally the original criticism that I think a lot of people got. Like, how are you not talking about the Palestine? But I feel like now more than ever, how do you ignore that? Like, how do you just go about your day and act like that's not happening?
Yeah.
Because it's everywhere.
Well, yeah, because they're doing encampments at your school, right, Julie?
Yeah.
They're not doing it at ours. I wouldn't be surprised if they do soon. But
Yeah, I could see it happening.
I can see.
I think if more, for sure, if more campuses start getting affected by like some shit, or like now all the schools are gonna cancel everything or something, I feel like a lot more schools are probably gonna
yeah.
start doing their encampments too.
But yeah, if you're listening and you can show your support in any way to those people protesting, please do, or at least just you know.
You guys can
educate
also
yourself.
donate.
Yeah,
There's a
I
lot
was just gonna
of
say.
there's a lot of like pages that are sharing like their Venmos and like my school. I followed it because I still follow a lot of like my friends who still go to that school, and they have their own pages. So if there's like we had like different groups and organizations, and they've been posting everything there. I know that they said, at least at San Francisco State, I know they said that they have enough food and stuff. I think they just need tents. So
Yeah.
if you guys are out there,
Yeah.
donate, you know. But just look up anything on their website, honestly. And there's a lot of like information on like how to help.
Yeah,
especially the
there's
students
a
and
lot of
stuff.
ways to help like
Yeah.
that. And then if you choose to go to the protest, be safe, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so
Read up on what you should do.
You
like,
gotta
and stuff.
support. Make love, not war. What else do they say? What else do they say usually at protests?
no
like-
justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace, and but like to support.
I don't know what the rally.
Fuck
cry
the
is.
man. Fuck the man.
But yeah, I saw this post on Instagram. I was gonna say it earlier. Let me see. I'm looking for it.
Is it? It's a post about.
It was just like a picture, and somebody put it. I don't know where it is, but it's like, you know how campuses have like those statues and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a statue that's decorated basically with all like the Palestinian flags. And then there's a sign that said, "Bothered by the encampments, look away like you do for genocide."
Damn.
Wow.
Wild.
I was like,
What a
damn.
burn.
I was
Got
like,
him?
damn.
Got
Like
him?
that's wild though.
I hope our school does something. Our
Fullerton?
Our alma mater, yeah. Fullerton.
I was telling you guys, I was like, I saw TikTok where they have like you know how people used to, I don't know if you ever saw, but people have like tables and like they have booths and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's like something that's
yeah.
there.
No, it's yeah.
And then there's a sign that's like, like from this campus. It even has like the school on it.
Yeah.
And it says like, oh, there's people here like practicing like their
Well,
First Amendment rights or something. like that.
isn't our dean stepping down?
Yeah. Yeah, they
So-
are. I don't know what that's about though. I don't know what that's about.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it has something to do with this. Probably avoiding if it does happen. She doesn't want to deal with it.
Oh, I get you. Get blamed for it.
Yeah.
It could be.
I don't know
when,
about get blamed for it, but I doubt she wants to deal
like
with it.
when Baba Iger left before COVID started, and then he came back after it ended.
Yeah.
Sus.
Damn,
Did you know
that's
that?
crazy.
Did you know
He
that?
left right before COVID started.
COVID left before the world knew about COVID.
COVID
No,
left.
my bad.
Bob Iger.
Bob Iger left before COVID was ever like aware.
Who's that?
Let me start.
He's the CEO of Disney, or like
He's the CEO of Disney.
he's Mr. Disney right now.
He's Walt Disney.
He left.
He
He
left like he left his
Well,
CEO position.
Companies always do that. They always have a CEO.
Yeah.
He left his. So he isn't CEO.
He
No,
left.
he came back after the pandemic.
He
ended.
was CEO for a good minute while Disney was doing good. Before the pandemic happened, he left. The pandemic happened. Disney kind of went to shit, and then he came back. And
Yeah.
now people say
And
Disney.
Yeah, people say conspiracy that he knew about COVID
I
before
mean,
it happened.
if you're rich and you have ties to the government, then maybe they have like a secret
a quick
group chat,
a quick heads up.
a group
Yeah.
chat. Because
I'm
I'm
sure.
sure that
Yeah.
they knew about all that stuff. Because it also makes me think of like AI, like how they probably knew all that shit, and when they released it, they were like, "There's gonna be no harm."
The rich people, if you've noticed, people laughed at me when I said I was a prepper, but all the like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, they all buy a bunch of land and have been investing in building bunkers and stuff like that.
But
And I know
yeah.
everybody's all like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. They take it in a completely different direction, like the aliens are coming. I think they just probably can see the writing on the wall that something's going to happen. Not, I think, like Independence Day. I don't think that's going to happen. But I can see something happening soon where people aren't too fond of them, you know?
Oh, I get
Also,
you.
they're gonna
Of the-
hide.
They're probably
just
just going to
hiding
have
from
to go and
people.
hide, or maybe something's going to happen to the economy where they're like, oh, it's better to just wait this out, you know? That's
Yeah.
what I think.
Well, I also just think that if you're rich, because I mean, I'm not a doomsday prepper,
But why
but
wouldn't you have
but if
that?
I had $1 million, why wouldn't I have a fucking bunker?
Yeah.
Like, come on, like just being honest. Like, if I think the fucking nukes are gonna drop any second, like, or if I think people are gonna riot, why wouldn't I? Like, bro, it's like
But
nothing, right?
I get
It costs like nothing. It's not doesn't they don't
to
take my
them,
whole
yeah.
money.
But I guess to them, well, what was another one? I think supposedly they buy a bunch of land in New Zealand.
Oh, because it's the hardest one for a zombie apocalypse for any
No,
virus.
I think it has something to do with global warming. Like they said something
Oh.
where like basically a lot of the places that we live in are gonna become extremely inhabitable soon. So they're going to the places, I guess, that are gonna be
And the
okay-ish.
Netherlands is one that's like.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
I
don't
think
know.
I've heard about that
It,
one.
it's hard. It's hard these days to like, because you know how conspiracy theorists take it too far. Like every now and again, something's like probably true, but then they are like, yeah, and that's because they're trying to get us the flat earthers and shit. Like that.
They're trying to go past the firmament and the
What's
ice
that?
wall.
Oh, the ice wall, bro. Have you seen? You know what I saw? I saw finally somebody give me, and not give me personally, but
The
on
map?
TikTok, the updated map of what the Earth actually
It looks
like.
insane. I've seen it. I've seen
Have
it.
you seen it?
It looks
The
insane.
map.
Pull
It's
it
a-
up. Put the graphic right here.
Let me see. Continue your discourse while I look it up.
Okay, so if you want the whole flat Earth lore, there's this thing called the firmament. Is the firmament? Yeah, the firmament is like the ceiling. So the firmament is like basically like an ocean. It's like water.
Yeah.
So if you go too high, you're gonna hit it, and that's why rocket ships have never actually left the Earth. It's all fake. And then there's the ice wall. The ice wall is the edge. You know how people are always like, if they're in this flat, why haven't people fallen off it? And it's because there's an ice wall.
Here, I'll just send it to you, Jerry. I'll just send it because this shit's insane. I'll send it to the group chat so we can all look at it communally.
You better pull up the graphics just so people can see it too and laugh,
Yeah.
point and laugh.
Beyond, it's the world beyond
Where
the
did
ice
you
wall.
Where did you send it?
The group chat that it's probably shouldn't say that.
Oh, I see. Oops, sorry guys, I have my notifications on. Wow, look at this.
So this is the map.
So if you look in the center, that's the world we live in, right?
Okay.
That's
it's
but
so
then,
low quality.
then we hit the ice wall, which is what we've been told is Antarctica, but it's not. And
Okay.
after that, we have basically what people say are the actual other planets. So it
the
says like
scorched waste.
the Neptunian Ocean, and then after that you have Atlantis. Apparently, I didn't know it was that far.
The abyssal ocean.
Nemo?
The frozen waste.
There's a-
Atlantis? Atlantis is real in flat Earth lore?
The scorched waste. Odin.
Is there a place called Nemo?
Where?
on the bottom.
Yeah.
That's Nemo. That's one of the planets.
Keep in mind, this is the
ISIS?
This is the theorized. This is the theorized.
Yeah.
part.
So the way it works is that these are the other planets.
Uh-huh.
These are the other planets.
Okay.
Yeah. So like Aten.
But they're on water and land.
It's
Like, they're also
I think they
in flat
basically
land.
say that the world never ends. It's kind of just like this
Flat?
giant.
It's just all flat?
It's just this all flat thing, and that all the other planets are actually like islands and other countries and shit like that, where other people come through. But they say nobody's been beyond the ice wall.
Well, I hope whoever made this
And
took
why
their
not?
meds today.
Because it's not real, so they have to. So they had to give themselves an out.
It's kind of exciting. Like, it's not exciting. It's intriguing.
I feel like these people should just get into writing.
It's hilarious,
They
honestly.
should just get into writing some Lord of the Rings shit.
Some fiction.
Odin, the walls of Asgard. Are you kidding me?
Is this the real one, or is this a parody version?
No, I think this is the real one. I think this is what I saw. I saw this one too.
I like that Atlantis is there.
I know, right? The abyssal ocean. I kind of want to know what's in there.
What is it? The scorched waste?
Yeah, I want to know what the
frozen
lore.
ones?
The frozen waste?
I don't believe in flat Earth, but I think the flat Earth lore is interesting.
Oh, they go ham with their lore.
Yeah, it's like the same way you like fiction of like Rick and Morty or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Julie, you said you brought a fact today.
Yeah.
What was the fact?
Well, now I guess I'll talk about it. It's a small fact. Do you guys tip when you guys go eat? Do you guys like
Yeah.
tipping?
I try to.
Yeah, I try to tip.
Even though I know there's a big controversy with it.
Yeah.
So do you guys tip every single time? I don't really tip, if I'm gonna be honest.
Pretty much,
It
yeah.
depends. Someone said a really good rule of thumb. It's like if I order my food standing up, I don't tip.
No, yeah. I think if I have to go do it, like if I have to go get it,
Yeah.
you know, then
Yeah, if like I literally
Wait,
just ordered
if-
and they're like tip, they're like, what the fuck? Why would I give you a tip for?
You said if you're standing, you don't tip?
Yeah, so like when you go to Wabagro or you order like at Popeyes, you know how you're standing up. Like
What
obviously
about if you order a coffee?
they're just doing their job.
I don't know. Generally speaking, I tip though.
I tip if it's like a sit down restaurant.
Mhm.
Sometimes I do give tips if it's like a coffee or like that type of like standing restaurant. But there's not really a rule as to why. It's just based on my mood that day. I'm just like, I don't know. I'll just give $1. I don't care.
Yeah.
I tip, but I agree that tipping culture is out of hand, and I think that people should just get paid livable wages instead of putting the responsibility on other people.
Give
to
me a
pay
tip
you.
for that.
Well, because do you guys think that, like, for sure, like, tipping culture is very much, like, shaming you into, like, doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say yes.
Yeah.
That's a loaded
Yeah.
question, but yes.
Well,
That is a little-
I think
Well,
it's.
because
Go ahead.
no, yeah. Well, because I was gonna say, I feel like, especially when like you're buying something and they turn over to the screen, it seems very much like they're forcing you, or like when they're there, it always seems like, or people say it's like, oh, they're watching you and they probably think of something. Of
Oh,
you,
when they
of,
do that
like-
thing when they're like, "Oh, just gonna ask you a quick question," and it's like, "How much do you want to tip me?"
Yeah.
And then the $0 has like a giant sad face.
It has like a hungry child and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it rips away their food.
Yeah.
What's it called? I like when they look away. I respect that because they're
Mm.
like, you don't have to give me if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But I hate when motherfuckers look me dead in the eye when they get that question because I feel like then they are trying to guilt me into it, and I'm like, fuck you.
You should look at them dead in the eye and press no tip.
You know what? You're so right because I'm a pretty ballsy guy. I'm
Just
like,
be like-
but I'm also like, why am I gonna start beef with a minimum wage employee?
Yeah.
Well, I just I hate to be that guy who keeps taking it here, but I hate that they put it in the hands of, you know, the fellow American to like help you out.
Here we go.
What do you mean?
Well, because to me, I hate it because it's like it's making it seem like people can't afford to live because I didn't tip. You know, like it's
okay.
like you know, instead of being like, hey, wait a minute, y'all don't pay him enough though. Why
Yeah.
is it my fault that y'all don't pay him enough? Like y'all should pay him enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we're both not getting paid enough because I'm
yeah.
like,
I'm right there with you.
I want to buy myself something, right?
Yeah.
But then there's an additional cost to it because I want to go get it.
It's
Yeah.
like,
And I feel like my broke ass is already going over
yeah,
there.
that's what I was gonna
Just
say.
for the one time that I want to treat myself. And then I have to pay an additional thing for somebody when the company should be paying you already. Like,
Yeah.
why am I in charge of
Yeah.
how much money you're making?
I think Nah, never mind.
It's like my brother in
Mm.
Christ. I needed these $10 too.
Yeah,
This is a very anti-government episode.
it
I like
is.
that.
But yeah, but
I like that.
but my thing was about tipping, right?
Yeah.
So in 1915, tipping was so unpopular that 6 states made it illegal to do so.
Damn.
Which states?
The states were Iowa, Washington, Arkansas, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Mississippi.
I gotta move there.
You're gonna move there?
It's
That
still
was back
unpopular
then.
now.
That was back then.
It's still
Now-
unpopular now.
I mean, it is still unpopular, but it's
I-
not illegal.
I don't know that it's unpopular. I feel like it's.
what?
I feel like
I mean,
would-
I tip. I literally usually tip.
So
But
there
I'm
you
not
go.
happy about it.
So there you go, though. But you.
But
do
I'm not
tip.
happy about it.
I think I wanna go a little ham so bad, but I won't. 'cause-
Just go
Do
ham,
it.
bro.
Say
That's
it.
what people want.
Nah.
They want us to be real.
No,
Am I right,
because-
audience?
Especially you, Brandon.
because the people I'm gonna be like, I don't think you should tip them. I like them, and I would like them as a guest. So I don't want them to be like, you said
okay.
that one time, you know.
So what, bro? When you're in the pearly white gates, God is gonna be like, you said this that one time, and are you gonna take it back then?
Cause people always be hating on me, bro. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Like
You're just a silly little guy.
nah, yeah. You know what? Fuck you to the motherfuckers in the comments who always be fucking telling me that I hate Vanessa. Eat my dick, asshole.
Damn.
Eat my dick. Unsubscribe for me and fucking.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Those
Yeah,
people
bro.
I'm actually mad about. I think
Yeah.
Vanessa's fucking cool.
Yeah,
But-
and Vanessa's
Wait,
the
people
homie.
have still been commenting?
no, stop
From that
fucking-
time.
Stop
Oh,
trying
from
to
that
stop trying to
time.
fucking stir up internet beef, fucking bitches.
That's what I'm talking about.
You
That's what I'm
big
saying.
fucking bitch
me
ass.
and, me and Vanessa, we locked in like that.
Yeah, they're like this. They're like
Do
this.
the Kendrick lyric. I don't like
I don't like what.
when he's like, I don't like.
I
how
don't
you
like the
dress.
way you walk.
I don't like the way you dress. That I hate the way that you talk. I hate you. So I don't know.
Vanessa's the homie.
Vanessa is the homie, and I was sick, and they made fun of Julie's face. The fuck? I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm a Latina and I got a resting bitch face.
I know.
Yeah, guys. Addressing, I guess, the controversy.
It was in his chest, bro.
Well, I hope you know. If any of y'all felt that way, us and Vanessa laughed about those comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, we literally were texting
I
about
just
it.
love how you brought that up.
That really was.
It really was built up. We were talking about some tipping. And I was like, when you said, that's not when you said that. I was like, what?
Cause, bro, I fucking hate when people put words in my mouth or fucking try
Yeah.
talking for
But
me.
what does that have to do with tipping?
Because I was gonna say, there's this one group of people that I do not think should be tipped. And I'm like, I know that I would get a lot of backlash from that community because they're fucking sensitive as fuck, and they'd be like, "Ooh." But I do respect them, and I do want to. I would like to work with them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah,
But
fuck you.
I think Steve knows. I think Steve knows who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I think
yeah.
it's bullshit that those motherfuckers be like, fucking give me a tip. I don't know. Do you think the people watching are gonna drastically assume that I'm talking about someone different?
Yeah, they're probably gonna think
Yeah.
you're talking about like
They
fucking like.
stirred it up, though.
Yeah.
They started it, so we
Fuck
got to stir it up.
Start Cheeseman, yeah.
Cheeseman?
Start Cheeseman. Say that I fucking hate Dominic from Un Poquito. Shout out to Dominic, by the way, though. He's cool.
Nah,
He's actually
we
cool.
love him.
Yeah, we love everybody who's ever been on here.
All the podcasts that we have been on here, we love and we're close friends with. So
Yeah.
stop stirring up internet beef.
We've hung
Yeah.
out with them outside of the podcast.
And there's tons of other podcasts who have showed us love, and we respect them too. We have no beef with any podcasts.
Yeah. Stop assuming we're bad people, guys. We're literally probably the chillest podcasters out there.
We're just a group of young kiddos trying to make our
We're
mark.
the ones who are being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
People are stealing from us.
She's really stirring the pot.
Yeah.
We're calling them out right now. Somebody has been stealing our content for the past year, and we only just became aware of it.
Yeah.
And it's somebody popular. And you know what? Fuck you. Talk to us. You know what? That's all I'll say now.
I'm just yeah. With that, no. Because the comments be like, who is it? We're not gonna tell you, so don't fucking ask.
Yeah, we're
We're
probably
not
not
gonna
gonna
tell
say.
you.
You
We're
guys
probably
can
not gonna say.
investigate.
You guys
Yeah.
can do what you want to do with that information.
Yeah, some of you actually might already know because the way I found out was somebody connected the dots for us, even though we had suspicions.
Yeah, we had.
They
our
basically
suspicions.
gave us more receipts, and we're like,
This
damn, that's crazy.
This is an edgy podcast. We're showing different colors.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
good. That's
It's our
good.
time.
I'm done being.
Mr.
Well, 'cause
Nice
people-
Podcast.
Well, I just hate how everybody's fucking assuming shit.
It's
about
the year
me.
of beef, bro.
Yeah.
First, it was when fucking Cat Williams came on Shannon Sharp's podcast. Then it's the Drake and Kendrick. Then it's the
Yeah.
IE versus LA.
I don't know. Let's take a moment to air out all our grievances on the podcast. Let's see.
Okay.
Nah, I hate motherfuckers that turn on like or try to stir up internet beef, bro.
Mm.
You know how
Mm.
hard this shit is to do,
Mhm,
and then you guys
mhm.
gotta fucking throw out allegations that we have beef with
that have
people.
like no fucking.
I know.
Like,
No
Stop-
relations.
I know. Stop writing
Yeah.
fucking fanfics about me. Bro.
You're just that big now.
I'm not that big.
yeah, we're not big enough to have fucking
We
address
can't handle that
controversy.
shit.
No, but yeah, like that's another thing. Like, how big do you think we are that we can handle that shit? You guys trying to deplatform shit up? Fucking, I don't know. Piss me off.
This is basically just to say, be nicer to us,
It's
guys.
just to say everything's cool. I don't
Nah,
know.
it's just to say, be nicer to us, guys.
I'm just
Seriously.
I am more mad that people are hurting the little guy.
Like,
which
come
is
on,
us,
guys.
Where I'm like,
I know, bro.
we didn't do shit.
What did we
We've
do?
never done
We-
anything.
literally, what did we do?
We
What did
legit
do?
just existed and
we
talked.
try our best to get our facts right. When we fuck up, we take it on the chin and we
Mm-hmm.
apologize. We try to use our platform for good things. We try to have good people on. You know, we try our best. You know, you start a fucking podcast then, bro. if you fucking like, I don't know.
Yeah, and talk about what you want
and
to
talk your
about.
own shit and your
Yeah.
own
I know.
ideas, bro.
When you work on something that you're so passionate and you're so proud of, and you protect with all your might, and people shit on it, I hope that you make the good decisions, and I hope that you think of the right things to say, because you'll see how fucking hard it actually is.
Yeah. I don't
But
know.
yeah.
This is more. I just more have the beef with them saying that I have a problem with Vanessa. Like,
Yeah.
come on,
We
now,
literally
bro.
love her, bro. She basically put us on. She says good things about us in rooms that we've never been in.
Yeah.
She's the homie.
Like, we got no
Yeah.
problem with the IE, bro. We love the
Yeah.
IE. They're
Yeah,
cool.
there's the whole reason we're even like.
Yeah, we would not
what we
exist without
have.
them. What, you think we're gonna have them on here and fucking try to big time them? They're
Yeah.
fucking like 6 times our size, probably like 10 times our size.
Yeah.
You think we got the lawyers to handle that kind of shit?
So shout out to the IE, shout out to Vanessa, and shout out to all the true fans who are ride or die with us.
Mhm.
Shout out to Lily, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to Lily.
yeah, she's a
Shout out
ride
to
or
you
die.
again. You're a ride or die.
Yeah, she's the reason
Um,
we do. She's the type of fan that we do this for. You know, the
Mhm.
people who say
Mhm.
that it comforts them. I was just told today, that actually warmed my heart, that there's a teacher out there that uses some of our clips to teach. I really fuck with that. I think that's really
Yeah.
cool. It inspires me
Yeah.
to double down on my facts, to make sure I use our platform responsibly, all that shit. But you know, well, if we're being used to teach, I should probably tone down on the cussing.
It's all good, bro. Kids are real. They
It's
know people
okay,
cuss.
you know?
Yeah. But we interrupted. We didn't even get to the what you were saying. So
no, yeah. I was talking
That's
about the
it?
tipping. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
that's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, isn't that crazy? The people
Yeah.
used to tip.
Well, I just want to talk about like the culture in it, which we kind of talked about, of
Yeah.
like
Mm.
people
It's
kind
the
of
government's
guilting you
fault.
into it. Yeah.
Mhm. It's
So
okay.
even more.
I think that just sucks. I think that you can look at everything on, like, I don't know, like a lot of things, and people tend to be like, "Oh, this is the people's fault," but then
Mhm.
it's like you realize it's probably elaborate propaganda
Yeah.
by the government to blame you,
Mhm.
so they don't
Mhm.
have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Does that make me sound like one of those podcasts?
Nah. You're not, because you're Brandon,
Yeah, it's true.
and they're
Mhm.
them.
They're them.
Yeah. So ending off the pod on my segment, I have one thing to share. I had two, but I'm gonna just share one and save the rest for later. So this one's called "By the Atlantic: The New Quarter Life Crisis," which I guess the three of us would be basically like going through. So it says, young adults have found a new outlet for their existential crisis. Running a marathon, Maggie Merdens reports. Merdens, like Finn Merdens? This might sound like a classic midlife crisis spiral, but today a growing number of younger people are feeling a similar urge. People in their 20s are taking to TikTok and Instagram, filming themselves running as they train for what some call their quarter life crisis marathon. And offline, a similar story. In 2019, only 15% of people who finished the New York City marathons were in their 20s. By 2023, that share had grown to 19%. And at this year's Los Angeles Marathon, 28% of finishers were in their 20s, up from 21% in 2019. That's actually a crazy ass stat, because I do know a lot of people my age running marathons, and I see people clowning them. Hey, bro, why don't you work out?
I want to run a marathon.
Yeah, I want to run a marathon.
Also,
too.
did you know the average life expectancy for people is in the United States is like 75? So a quarter life crisis technically is 18.
Yeah.
It's not 25. It's 18.
There you go, sir.
Technically, yeah. If you want to be, because I think people assume that the life expectancy is like 100. Nah, it's not.
Damn, Stevie.
So it's like 75.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong. I'm
just
reading.
kidding,
This is my source. Okay. Skipping this. Quarter life is a real and often difficult developmental stage. Experts told Mertens, yet marathons are also not a magical band-aid. Those who run in pursuit of validation on social media rather than for self-betterment could find that the process leaves them empty or with low self-esteem, says the psychotherapist and author Satya Doyle Vyok.
That's how people run marathons, bro.
I feel like, I mean, I don't like running, but at least from what Stevie told me, I feel like you get like a lot of adrenaline, and for sure, I think a lot of people get clear thoughts when they run. So it would make sense why people are so addicted to like running and shit when they get into it, because of that feeling that they get.
I don't know. I feel like I'd rather you run a marathon and do something cool and like learn a lesson that, hey, maybe, you know, this is whatever. Learn a lesson, then I don't know, fucking be racist online or some shit. and learn take fucking 10 years to learn that lesson.
Also, because I know I've been seeing the one, I think, is it in Boston, I think, when they have like their marathon. And I just started watching like TikToks about it.
Fuck Boston.
And like they it's really long. No, it's like what's
a marathon?
All marathons are the same length.
It's
like 26 miles.
They're all the same?
All marathons are the same.
A marathon is...
Then
what's
the 5Ks and all that shit?
Well, that's different. That's a 5K.
A marathon is like saying like I'm running a mile. I'm running a marathon is like saying like it's like 26 miles.
I think so. It's 26.
It's just it looks different. So it's like the Boston Marathon or the Los Angeles Marathon. It's just the map is different.
Yeah,
but it's the same length. Yeah.
So then what's a 5K and all that shit?
A 5K is like 5 kilometers.
Yeah,
right?
I guess it's 5 kilometers.
It's just its own thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a different distance.
Isn't it like
that's not a marathon.
There's like 24Ks or some shit like that.
Yeah, but that's just like running.
Well, whatever that shit was.
Yeah,
they
but
were running. They were running, and then they had signs or whatever, and people were like super amped up. And it looks funny. Well, not funny, but it looks interesting because like not only do you have like the runners, but you have like the supporters on the side that are just like cheering for people. And like it's cool because it's like it's its own thing, or it's like it's its own like kind of like culture where it's like if you don't run, you can be like a supporter. And like I saw the videos of like the supporters, and it looked really cool.
Didn't the IE run a marathon?
Yeah, Steph ran
cool.
one.
Shout
I
out
think
to her.
Caesar
I
too.
think Yosabo.
Yeah,
has their own
Yosabo
group.
too. Yeah,
Has their own running
Shout
group.
out to them.
Yeah.
That's
My
dope.
girl ran a marathon once.
Oh, dope. So did mine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm never gonna run.
And when are we gonna run a marathon?
I would want to say next year, but I think maybe I can attempt it, but I don't think it. Maybe like 2 years. Give me 2 years, and I think I can.
All right, when you do it, I'll do it.
Okay.
Deadass, I'll do it with you. It'll probably be easy because then we'd finish the pod.
I don't know that it'll be easy.
Easier because we'll finish the pod. And we'll be like, let's train.
I'll be in the supporter side.
Julie, do it with us,
not
bro.
gonna run.
Why?
I don't like running.
Why?
I don't like exercising.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
I said why.
What
Yeah,
about it?
Why? Because
Yeah.
I don't like running.
I said no, but I was asking why to exercising.
I wanna set a record.
At least running. I don't like running.
You want to set a record?
I want to run the fastest marathon.
What's the look up?
No, actually, it's a real thing. You know how like there's 5-minute mile? It was like a sub like fucking hour marathon. Was I thought impossible, but then some guy did it.
Because I think the average of a marathon is about 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours.
Fastest marathon ever ran was 2 hours.
What?
2 hours and 35 seconds.
What the fuck? That guy must have been insane.
And it was as of November 2023, the men's world best time for a 26.2 mile race, which is a marathon, is 2 hours and 35 seconds. This record is held by 23-year-old Kenyan Kelvin Kiptum. This time was set at Chicago Marathon on recently, last year, October 4th, 2023.
What?
For the women, the best time is held by, forgive me if I say her name wrong, Tigist Asefa from Ethiopia, with a time of 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 53 seconds.
That's actually fucking insane.
So, no, yeah, the thing is, I think the sub 2 hour marathon is thought to be impossible.
Damn, that's kind of crazy.
I think someone will do it.
What's another, fine today, if you don't like running, what's another quarter
I
life?
do walks.
Oh.
What?
Like I do like the AIDS walk and like the breast cancer awareness walks.
Oh,
I do those
yeah.
walks.
Oh, that's dope.
I don't run, but I
Yeah.
walk.
But I was gonna say, since the quarter life crisis is the marathon that I guess Brandon and me will be
So
on.
everybody does that? Everybody just does their marathon?
I don't know that everybody does it, but it's
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like, I'm having a crisis. I want to achieve something. I want to do
Probably
something
just
with
like
my life.
skydive or some shit. I don't know.
You'd
Is
rather
that the other one?
You'd rather skydive than run a marathon?
Yeah. At least I'm falling, you know.
But at
Like,
least
I'm
when
not,
you,
not running.
Would you ever
or,
skydive?
like, doing anything.
yeah, but I feel like if it's between that, I do think the marathon's easier because at least there you train and you get like the benefits of it. While skydive, you just do it.
I guess for me, I just, that kind of stuff like skydiving, I've just never had the desire.
I
don't know.
have.
I don't get it.
I've always have.
Like
would-
Mount Everest, would you guys want to climb Mount
Nah,
Everest?
I get too cold.
That's
She
what
does.
I'd probably
You do
die.
get really
I'd
cold.
Would you
probably
do it?
die
Women get cold
easily.
easily.
Would you do it?
Mount Everest? Fuck no.
Yeah, me neither. Isn't like the chance of dying like 50-50 or some shit?
Yeah.
It's pretty high. It's pretty high up there.
That's
yeah.
also exercising, bro. That's hiking right
All
there.
What's right? Julie has
like-
beef with
I
exercising.
like that it's not that there's a high risk of death that deters
Julie
it.
has to
it's the
work
fact that she has to work out and that it's cold.
Yeah.
Come on, Julie.
What other hard things do people do? I think climbing a mountain and
The
running
buy a
marathon.
car is a midlife crisis, but what midlife would be like buy a bike.
But I feel like doing something like a marathon is way better than buying like a fucking $600,000 sports car.
It'd
and
be
ruining your
like
life.
you buy a dog or get married or fucking get pregnant.
I don't know. Would you say it's a quarter life crisis or would you say it's just growing up?
It's because I have beef with the term growing up. I'm like, because I understand becoming more mature and becoming more responsible, but I feel like growing up sometimes is heavily associated with being more serious and being less happy.
Do you have to pay to do all
A
those?
marathon? Yes.
How much?
Like 200 or something, like 200,
Yeah.
300.
Well, there you go. It's because you
But they
finally
give
have
you-
money.
They give you free shoes.
You're old enough to finally.
They give you
get-
free shoes
find
and
out.
they and you get like free shit as you're running.
But I think though, like going back to the growing up thing, I think the way I see it more is like it's not so much that you have to be more serious. I think it's just more like you have responsibilities that you can't avoid. Like when you're a kid, you
Mhm.
don't have to worry about all these things. It's more just school and oh man, I got a crush on so and so. But then growing up is fuck man, I gotta do all this fucking shit.
I got
Yeah.
bills. I got my baby mama pregnant.
You know,
No,
my mom's gonna throw me out. You know, shit like
Yeah.
that. You know, that's why I'm like, that's why I'm like, do you think it's a quarter life crisis, or do you think it's just, fuck, I'm transitioning into a new stage in my life and I feel weird about it.
I heard that supposedly. I think you've heard. I think we may have maybe talked about this, but the death of the teen and preteen is happening. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So, this happens every time that the United States is in economic unrest and political unrest. That the death of the in between child to adult happens. So it happened in the 1950s. You basically went from child to adult. No. I think 1950s was when teenage culture came out. Before that, it was just child, then adult, because you get
Yeah.
married really quickly
Yeah.
and you have kids by the time you're like 18. And then in the 1950s, teen culture started, where now everybody had money, so the teens could be like their teen selves. And it was like that for a long time, but recently it died, where now you see people in like they talk about it all the time, like little girls are like in what is it called, Skims or what is it called, like the bodysuits, and then dudes they have their own version of it too, where they're going to vaping and like smoking, and this is what I'm hearing supposedly the teen idea is dying, but it happens every time there's economic unrest because teens and people need to work more because the economy is worse. So they're thrust into adulthood.
They don't get a chance to enjoy their youth.
Yeah, they don't get a chance to enjoy their youth. While in the 1950s, obviously, a lot of people, the baby boomers, right, they had a lot of money. So teens, they get like, oh, dad, can I have an allowance? Can I have some money to go do some shit?
And then you could buy shit with minimum wage.
Yeah, it's more about the economy and how, like, obviously now people are going from kids to adults.
Really fast.
Yeah, super, super fast. So that's why I think the quarter life crisis got sped up instead of midlife crisis, because now there's no teen phase.
Well, hopefully.
That's bullshit?
No. I think it's probably true. I don't know. We do something about it. Some cool happens.
I think everything's gonna be fine, guys.
Everything's
Don't
gonna
worry.
be cool.
I think everything's gonna be cool, guys. I think that it's fun sometimes, and it's very easy to talk about the dark things. But there's also a lot of beauty in life, and sometimes it's in small things. Sometimes it's even in the way you can make your homies laugh. It's in the way you can make your mama laugh. It's the way they make you laugh. It's the way that you can walk to a park. It's the fact that you have able-bodied legs, or you're able to enjoy a good movie. Sometimes everything's gonna be cool.
Corny.
I am a little corny, and that's okay because it means I'm happy.
He's a cornball. He's a cornball.
I'm a cornball, and I don't care. It means I'm happy.
He's a cornball. Yeah. Does that wrap up our episode, or do you guys want to yap more?
No, that's pretty much about it. I hope you guys have a beautiful week. Before we go, gonna give a quick shout out to our Patreons. Also, our set has changed. I don't think we've addressed it, even though it happened.
Yeah,
but
we're making a lot of upgrades.
Yeah, we still got a few more things.
New year, new us, even though we're like halfway through.
I ordered a carpet, which you guys probably won't see, but it's supposed to be here.
I think we could do something great. We could have it under Julie, so you could see it, like if the camera's far enough.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Okay, shout out to UL. Shout out to Jada Chicano. Shout out to Angel Zamaron. Shout out to Sarah with an H. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Stephen Carvajal. And shout out to Carla Corazon. Your patronage is always appreciated. And if anybody out there wants to join the Patreon, our link is always in the bio.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. We really hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye.